Over the weekend of Saturday the 11th and Sunday the 12th of July 2026, I attended the Penarth Model Railway Exhibition, held at St Cyres School in Penarth. This year's exhibition, organised by the Barry and Penarth Model Railway Club, featured a lovely range of layouts in many different scales and gauges, and a convenient vintage bus service that was running from Cogan Railway Station directly to the show. In this video, we're going to take a look at all the incredible layouts that were on display. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our upcoming videos coming out regularly. Wantage Tramway is a 4mm P4 gauge layout built by Robin Gay, depicting the line as it appeared on a busy market day in the early 1920s. At this time, the tramway ran a regular passenger service between Wantage Town and Wantage Road Station, alongside daily freight trains serving the district. Because many of the prototype structures were demolished decades ago, the layout is a long-term project requiring extensive historical research to carefully scratch-build the highly detailed town buildings.
The way that building has been angled, so trains can get past is brilliant.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know Wantage, but not well enough to say that this looks like Wantage. I've only been there a few times.
Yeah, this is it. I've had quite a few people literally.
I tried to get my pastoral and see everything. It looked like nothing. But yeah, well, when I see the results of some other I've noticed some people, especially youngsters, are coming in and saying, oh, I wouldn't mind
Yeah, because you can park on the road and back. Oh, you love trains. Well, yes, we did break it up, but we left it all there. Now it's a small road. And we got a test track. We got a test track. We're making it slightly smaller. So we can push it against the wall and then down the other wall.
Lintor Town is a HOe Gauge layout built by the Swindon Model Railway Club. It depicts a fictional GWR branch line terminus in the West Country during the early 1920s, just prior to the grouping of 1923. The station supports the local farming community and the surrounding town. The layout is DCC controlled, including the locomotive, points and signals, as well as a turntable, while the uncoupling system relies on strategically placed electromagnets.
So at least we know what it is, we can walk around it. Yeah.
Merriot is a HOe Gauge layout from Reg Owen of the Pontypridd Model Railway Club. This is a medium-sized terminus station, loosely based in the area of Crewken, that includes a parcel depot, a milk depot, and a small locomotive servicing area. The layout features a great mix of southern and western region rolling stock. The station and parcel depot are beautifully detailed, and the scratch-built milk depot adds a unique touch. Ahmadpur Junction is an O and ON 30 scale layout built by Stuart Glencow, inspired by a visit to a small Indian town north of Calcutta in 1992. The layout depicts an archetypal Indian narrow gauge terminus connecting with a broad gauge line running north from Calcutta. Passengers walked across the tracks or through the town to transfer between lines, while a goods shed provided an interchange for freight. Because no commercial Indian models are available in this scale, everything on this layout is impressively scratch-built to capture the unique features of an Indian railway scene of the era.
Yeah.
Junction is an HOe Gauge layout in 7mm scale, built by the Penarth Model Railway Club. Set in the 1930s and depicting the Great Western Railway, this layout measures 7 metres by 0.9 metres. Junction is a fiddle yard terminus layout featuring an industrial branch that diverges just outside the station, adding operational interest to the scene.
So that's why I rang the team and said, well, I'll get all the details of what we're doing, that way you can pass on yeah, I'll take the wireless one and enjoy that. I just realised what I've done.
Sweetlands is a charming N-gauge layout built by Steve Thomas. This continuous loop measures 5 feet by 3 feet and is a typical roundy N-gauge style layout. Kaninchenbau is a HOe layout set in the Austrian Alpine foothills. Designed for fully automated running using iTrain, this rabbit warren layout features 22.5 metres of track, 5 continuously running trains, all controlled by a laptop with iTrain software. The intricate track plan creates unexpected train appearances, which made it very interesting to film.
Yeah. Well, it used to be really good, I say, with the white spirit, because you could just focus. Company in Bowleggett.
The stag's missing, I'm not bothered with
Yeah.
that.
That's not a fiver.
Except for a fiver.
And now suddenly it changes the signal instead of changing a tone. All right, I know this very well.
Aberware is an impressive TT120 scale layout built by GLR Bespoke Services, serving as a brilliant showcase for what can be done and what can be achieved in this growing scale. Beyond the modelling itself, the layout highlights the cutting-edge potential of modern automation. Using advanced DCC technology controlled from a laptop, the entire scene runs itself. It was truly fascinating to watch this level of digital integration in action, with trains operating seamlessly and automatically, proving just how far railway modelling technology has come in recent years.
Yeah, rather than just a dead flat.
No, actually.
And then the top
Oh,
I think I need about 9 of them. Yeah. Well, so Nicky's got so that's not going to look in the dark. Yeah, absolutely. And if you can find it first, we can do it. Yeah, I can do that. I think he's got my robot. Yeah, we've got all the same idea.
Bowleggett, Manor and Farr are two 009 layouts built and combined by Peter Cullen to create one interconnected narrow gauge railway. The scene begins at the country estate of Lord and Lady Fitztightly, where the narrow gauge passenger line runs through an old quarry. The enthusiastic volunteers operating this line eventually grew tired of going in circles and constructed an extension down to the nearby Shropshire market town of Farr. The two layouts are linked via a cutting through the quarry side, featuring a narrow gauge tramway where rail cars provide passenger services alongside short goods trains transporting local produce.
Oh well, I may have something next year.
That there. Shut those gates. That there. And that's like that.
Yes.
This next layout is HO scale and has a clever dual identity, allowing it to represent two entirely different eras and countries using interchangeable buildings, vehicles, and scenery. Originally built by Tim Hale and expanded by Paul, the layout's German identity is Pottendorf, a 1950s and 60s branch line terminus in Oberfranken, Germany. Here, old operating practices remain with passenger rail buses and freight trains moving local goods through the area. Here, old operating practices remain, with passenger rail buses and freight trains moving local goods before the historic cuts hit rural lines. Its second identity is Venterol-Rousset, which transforms the layout into a modern 2010s French branch line layout. When I saw the layout at the show, it was operating its Pottendorf guise, giving us a wonderful look at a classic mid-century German railway.
I'll bring this one off.
Bristol Road is an N-gauge layout by Dave Smith, depicting a busy modern image setting in the West Country. The scene tells a fascinating story of revival. After the original station was closed in the 1960s, local industrial growth led to the line being modernised and the station successfully reopened, complete with a small DMU servicing the area. Despite being controlled by DC, the layout features a brilliant variety of rolling stock, from regional passenger trains in the distinct green livery of the GWR to heavy DB Schenker freight operations, perfectly capturing the atmosphere of a thriving regional railway hub.
Yeah. Number 8.
Oh, looking at all the bits underneath, are you?
Trinity Dock Street Bridge is a HOe Gauge layout from Gavin Rose. This small, highly detailed and unusual model is set on a cold, dank, and dismal Monday morning in early February 1939, amidst the busy inner town docks of Hull, Yorkshire. The tracks are intricately laid into the thousands of stone sets. With many points and tight radius curves, they connect the various warehouses and quays. As the short trains are shunted around the dockside, they can be seen rattling over the asymmetrical swing bridge. The layout captures a moment in time where the southeasterly wind brought bad weather off the North Sea, but also the ominous threat of war from the near continent.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it's not running too well. It runs fine, so the track's so bad, that's all. Just going to bring a comparison shot between the youngest locomotive and my oldest locomotive.
We also had the pleasure of seeing the work from David Woolnough, the club's resident artist, who was there showcasing his paintings, which are available for sale. David is incredibly talented and is often the person behind the beautiful painted back scenes on many of the club members' layouts. In addition to his art, he also brought along one of his own layouts. Weargate works as an N-gauge layout depicting a rural station and village set during the 1980s and 90s. This compact layout beautifully captures the transitional era between the late British BR Blue period and the early sectorisation years. It features a lovely blend of country scenery and local rail traffic, perfectly recreating this nice slice of the late 20th century railways. Burnham-on-Sea is a 2mm fine-scale layout presented by the Shepton and District Model Railway Society. It depicts the historic Somerset seaside terminus of the Somerset and Dorset Joint Railway, featuring its unusually short overall roof and a long platform built for excursion trains. After being stored following the passing of its builder, the late Dennis Brownlee, the layout has now been lovingly restored by John Perrott. The model beautifully captures the unique atmosphere of this important coastal station before its eventual closure in the mid-20th century.
But it was Midland and Southern.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the same one, eh?
Just reward with a signal. You don't do them very often. That's the original Dennis Brownlee's hand-wound coils on those. I don't know even what volume they're supposed to have on them.
Alongside the fantastic selection of layouts, there was also a wonderful variety of trade stands in attendance, offering plenty of inspiration, tools and rolling stock for everyone to be able to take something home with them. I sincerely hope that you've enjoyed taking this look at the Penarth Model Railway Exhibition 2026. As always, if you want to keep up to date with more model railway exhibitions and railway videos in general, please subscribe to the channel, and why not check out my other videos. And if you have any questions about any of the layouts or traders, please leave a comment below. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Hwyl fawr.